America in the 1950s and 60s was a time of change. The first African American was hired onto the Fort Wayne Fire Department in 1961. But as News Channel 15's Alyssa Iverson explains, his journey while wearing badge number 210 wasn't easy.
Richard Ridley Jr.'s story is one of perseverance through prejudice. He was given an opportunity, and he made the most of it. He endured the racism and the resistance to change of the era, but he remained stoic and humble, saying he was just doing his job, a job he helped make available for future generations.
He was always my Superman.
There are many ways to describe Richard Ridley Jr.
Integrity, strength, extreme patience.
So brave, good person, and a compassionate person.
He's a trailblazer.
Richard endured.
He does what's put before him. He's a definition of a true man.
A pioneer. There are a whole lot of people that benefited from what he did.
October 1961, Ridley was hired onto the Fort Wayne Fire Department, the first African American to wear the badge.
I didn't think about being the first at that time.
In America, the climate was of change.
Racial tension across the country during the civil rights movements, and there were things taking place and changing very quickly around Fort Wayne as well.
Fort Wayne City Councilman Glenn Hines was a boy then. He remembers it was the talk of the barbershop.
And I didn't understand the dynamics other than we were going to be involved in change.
John Knuckles was elected the first African-American city councilman in 1959. He and the community challenged the mayor to hire an African-American to the fire department.
We had 3 black police officers, but we had no firemen.
2 years later, Ridley was sworn in, making headlines, but being the change wasn't easy.
I expected that there was going to be some dissension when I came on. It didn't take long to figure that out. I knew that after a while it would change.
Ridley was assigned to fire prevention, not an engine house.
They didn't want to share a bed with me.
Ridley's first fire response didn't come for 4 months.
Wolf and Dessau was fired. I was still in the Fire Prevention Bureau at the time. They called all the off-duty firefighters, and so I went in.
It would take another year when Marvin Eady was hired in 1963 for Ridley to be assigned to Station 3.
I was on A shift and he was on the B shift, I believe. We'd share a bunk at night. When we worked in the night watch, we had to take a rollaway bed in there, so we could only sleep on the rollaway bed. And then they'd take that out when the other guys came in and had watch. That lasted 3 or 4 years. It ended up, they broke that up. We started serving like all the rest of the firefighters. We found out it wasn't that bad.
He persevered, and it would have been very easy for him to have lost his temper.
I don't know how he did it. Glad he did, though.
This wasn't the first time Ridley was first. Nearly his whole life, throughout school, the military, and the fire department, he helped pave the way for future generations.
I didn't think there was really anything special about it. I was just doing my job. That's all I thought about.
Ridley wasn't just a firefighter, he was an exceptional one. He rose through the ranks to district chief and developed the department's physical fitness program, which is still used in part today.
I knew who I was. It didn't make any difference what anybody else thought. They'd eventually see who you are.
With Ridley leading the way, the fire service became a family tradition. His brother, both sons, and 3 nephews all joining the department.
I'm in the position I am today because of him. You know, he opened some doors for myself, you know, my other cousins, and other minorities as well. You know, and I'm grateful for the things that he endured to make it possible for me to be able to do something I always wanted to do growing up.
But in the last few decades, diversity on the department has declined. Women and minorities make up about 15% of the 350 firefighters.
The problem that we've had on the Fort Wayne Fire Department with diversifying the department is getting that message out that this opportunity exists to the minority community. A lot of kids would come up to you as a minority firefighter and say, hey, I can't believe you're a firefighter. You know, I never knew
you could do this.
Chief Eric Leahy says a recruit class around 6 years ago showed that 900 people came to take the written test. Fewer than 100 were a minority.
This is a job that a lot of minorities don't even know or think about it. You need to recruit, get the word out.
Which is exactly what the department is doing, planning to go to job fairs and other community events leading up to hiring a new class next year.
It is not specific to one race or one gender, that there are people out there that are capable of doing this job. We just have to find them and let them know that the opportunity exists.
Reach out more to the different communities, you know, because I know diversity doesn't just mean, you know, black or white anymore.
We want to make sure that we're hiring the best people and make sure that we're hiring, again, those individuals that reflect our community, the qualified minorities. That's important for our job. It's important for what we do.
And important to not lose the legacy behind badge number 210.
I just think that everything that he did was exceptional.
Lessons given to me by my father. Do the best that you can do. Be courteous to everybody. Have faith in yourself.
And today the department gave Ridley a special honor. Our story that you just saw was shown at a special viewing party as a cover to surprise Ridley with the first ever Pioneer Award. Ridley's family, fellow firefighters, and members of the community were all there to recognize him.
I appreciate the fact they thought it was worthwhile to honor me. I didn't think I'd done anything. I think what I accomplished was done by treating people the way you want to be treated.
Richard will also be featured in a Hometown Heroes mural in the Urban League's new computer lab. We'll be right back.